Folks, I'm going to tell you a story today about myself. In 5 years, I failed in 2 different businesses in 5 years. You know why? Because I found it difficult to become born again from my former self. It was a bit of time for me before I could realize that I needed to be born again from my former self. Those things that by habit I had learned while growing up in a working class family. And I wanted to live as a businessman, running my own business, setting up a corporation, which is totally different. The lifestyle of a working class person who goes for a 9 to 5 paycheck at the end of the week or at the end of the month is different from the lifestyle of somebody who is setting up a business corporation. So you see, the first business I did, after about 2.5 years, after about 2 years, I totally failed in it. I learned my lesson. You see, I was taking too much excuses from customers. As I told you, the lifeline of every business is the money, the cash flow. And in my own case, customers will come, oh, I'm sorry, I can't pay for this, I'll pay later, but please just help me with the business. And you deliver, they refuse to pay, and then you have to use another person's cash, another person's payment to sort them out, because they promised you that in 2 days or in 3 days they would sort you, and then they don't, and you get into a fix. And it went on and on. By the time I was able to be firm on myself and to become firm on my customers, it was already too late. But thank God that business taught me a lesson. I learned something from it, and that was it was the process of becoming a new person. And that is the fact that be nice to your customers, but don't take bullshit from your customers. Don't take bullshit. Business thrives when friends and family pay, because you'll be owing the banks, you'll be owing partners, you'll be owing customers, and these guys would make you a scapegoat, and you would have no one to blame except yourself, because you cannot cry as a victim. One of the policies of a good businessman is never to blame anybody for his misfortune. You see, the second business I went into, now I'd learned that I must make sure customers pay, and I inculcated that into every employee. But I was still being very nice to my employees. As I told you, for every employee you get, you must manage them with carrot and stick. Don't be overly nice. Even for your brothers and sisters at home, you are not overly nice to them. So why should you? Without that employee, your business will still thrive. If an employee believes that he is the best, if you fire him today and you take time to search out another one, you get a better one. If I feel I am the best in something I do, trust me, there's always somebody that is better. That's the way life is. The beautiful ones are not yet born. So if somebody feels I'm the most beautiful woman in the world today, somebody's going to beat you hands down with their beauty in just a few years time or within a few months. So you see, in my own case, by the time I started the second business, I really got messed up by employees. But there's no use crying as a victim. I take full responsibility for that. I set up an enterprise, leased the place, got the members of staff, and then somebody came in who said, oh, please let me use one of your rooms here, and I'll pay you gradually. In this case, I insisted on upfront payment, but I didn't check the character of the person. He came in, and before I knew what was happening, members of staff were being put against each other. I didn't realize on time, and by the time I realized it, I thought I could manage the whole situation by being nice to everybody, being nice to the employees. Now I learned to be firm to the customers, but I felt you need to also be very good to your employees. But you see, with employees, it's both ways. It's both ways. And excuses were coming up. Today I'm sick, I can't come to work. Tomorrow I'm sorry, and then my mom died. And then at work, quarrels between members of staff, people being like, this can at work, and they're still expecting to pay them their full salaries. it took me a while to realize that I was being taken for granted. You see, I needed to toughen up. But being brought up to be very nice and lovely was difficult. So to change from that to becoming a very tough person was difficult for me. Before I knew what was happening, I was messed up, but I can't complain. You know, like a physical attitude transferred from the office even to the house, where you see members of staff trying to find out from the housemaid what was being said in the house between the husband and the wife regarding the business, so that they could know how to strategically mess you up. And then by the second time, the second business collapsed, I learned my lessons big time, and I knew I needed to toughen up. This time around, life itself toughened me up because I had to move from a posh area to one of the most rugged areas of Lagos, Nigeria, Bariga. Now, by the time you have friends with the area boys and the gang leaders, and you see how they control their own hood, and you run businesses with them, it toughens you. By that time, I became toughened up. Launching out again became easy. Now I have to learn 2 lessons. Be nice but tough with your customers, no credit. And then be very tough with your employees. No nonsense. For every employee that is sacked, a better one will surely come if you research well at the end of the day. I learned that the hard way after being bankrupt and all. But while the employees were still crying because at the end of the day when the business collapsed, they themselves lost. They thought they were doing the business some harm and they were playing games and thought they were being smart. But everybody lost out because they too lost their job and then they could not be paid. Some of them were crying foul, saying they claimed to be victims. But me, the greatest victim, who without the business they wouldn't even have been able to earn a living at all in the first place. Nobody thought of me. But I built myself because I took responsibility for it all. I sorted everything out and then moved gradually from Bariga waterside and climbed up again out of the old trauma and out of the old mess. Built myself afresh. But for the employees, they never had any entrepreneurial spirit. Some of them are still outside there looking for jobs. Well, crying that they've become victims of the economy, they've lost their jobs because the business wasn't doing well. Nobody looks inside of themselves. Well, I looked into myself and I realized the mistake I made. In those 2 businesses within 5 years, those 2 businesses, 1, I didn't manage my customers well by being too nice and taking credit. I stopped. 2, not managing members of staff well by not being tough enough. I stopped. It wasn't my fault. I was brought up to be very loving. So you manage both ways. And after I learned those 2 things sustained the new business I built again. And I'm still learning my lessons by the day. And I'm not blaming anybody for anything I need to do. And some things still mess me up. I walk off from it quickly before it becomes a gigantic mountain that will crush me. Learn my friends in business. Learn these principles. Reborn yourself and become born again daily. Look and have a retrospective attitude in checking out how your business is doing by the day, because every business has a lifeline and it's living on you right now until it's able to sustain itself. At that point in time, you reap your reward. This is not the time to go flexing in clubs and enjoying yourselves. This is not the time to go partying. This is time to dig to the ground. Dig in. Search areas where you are making mistakes. Search areas where you are being weak. Don't take excuses for yourself and for anybody that is involved in your business. And if you feel this business, there's no way for you to try, quickly close it before the business collapses you. And then start another one afresh. If you are running too much in an eyebrow area and getting too much overhead, move to a place where you don't need to incur